Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Derek Riley and today we're going to be looking at the Volkswagen ID.4 and we're going to be doing a point of view review. So look, no hands, you're going to be able to see exactly what I can see. Inside, outside, I'm going to take it for a spin. So let's get started. This video is sponsored by EasyGo. As well as being Ireland's largest EV charging network, EasyGo supports over 10,000 Irish EV drivers to find and use more than 1,200 charge points active on the EasyGo app. This works across the island of Ireland, north and south. The team at EasyGo also provide home, workplace and public chargers together with fleet management and payment service solutions, ideal for businesses transitioning their fleets to electric vehicle driving. This is the Volkswagen ID.4 and this is the first edition and it's the max version, so it's the top of the top spec. It's got a 77 kilowatt hour battery. So a lot of this stuff will be top of the range, so just make sure whatever model you go for that you have the different versions and the different options. I wanted to do a point of view review so you can see something different. I have a tech review that I'll link in the description and I'll put up on the screen, and I also have my first impressions. So this one has the IQ lights, the LED matrix headlights, really nice, really great at night time. It also has a light bar across the front as well, and this one, some of them they don't have that, so depending on the model. You've got a camera underneath the Volkswagen logo, and then you've got the radars etc. underneath the license plate. Either side you've got your active air vents that make an air cushion around the wheels, make it more aerodynamic. I think the front looks really well. I really like the lights and I would highly recommend LED matrix headlights if you've got the option. I know they might be a bit extra or depending on the trim that you go for, but they're very much worth it. Moving down along the side, you've got these 21-inch tires, and these are aero tires, but they have they look like they've got spokes, but they're blacked out, so it looks really well. You've got the first edition flag on the side of it as well. Large wing mirrors, touch panel underneath the door handle, and that's how you open the door. Nice lines. You've got a bluey kind of plastic at the bottom, you've got the white body colour, you've got the silver then profile, and then you've got the black roof, so lots going on. This one has the panoramic sunroof as well. Overall, I think looks really well. White is difficult to keep, I've already washed it this week, but the same in any car, and they have about 5 or 6 sort of colours depending on your market. I think it looks great. Side profile, some people don't really like that kind of waistline or shoulder line, whatever you want to call it, because it's not straight, because it's up and down. But it's a low enough car. It's not as high as some people think. Some people give out about the visibility and also headroom in the rear, but you've got the charging point there on the side. This is it. On the European version, you've got the Type 2 CCS. Let's turn around and have a look at the rear end. Probably my favourite angle of the ID.4 is the rear of it. This has the 3D LED rear lights sculpted. It's not on all models, so it's an option. Really like it. You've got a huge spoiler, you can see there, and you've got the wiper, and you can see up close the LED, the 3D sculpted ones. You've got that light bar across the back as well. The white on white with the ID.4 is very stealth. And you've got the camera in underneath there where the license plate is, and you've got the fog lights at the bottom as well. Again, you've got that bluey kind of plastic at the bottom as well, which I think it suits this white. The tailgate on the ID First Edition Max is powered. You can see you've got your camera there, and you've got your button there to close it. Great space. Nearly 550 litres. You've got your ski hatch and you've got your 60-40 split then as well. You've got a false floor that you can put underneath. You can put cables underneath, or you can drop the actual floor underneath. And then there's a well underneath this as well, pardon the pun. And you've got your 3-pin domestic adapter there if you haven't got a charger home. There isn't a frunk or a fruit in the ID.4. Press the button, pop it down. And we'll show you where the engine bay, or the front, I can't call it an engine bay anymore because there isn't an engine in it. So this is what you get in the ID.4. There's a bit of space in here, but we've just heard about the ID.4 GTX, which is the all-wheel drive. So you will have an electric motor. On this version, the electric motor is in the rear, but on the GTX and the all-wheel drive, you will have an electric motor in the front as well. So maybe need that space. You can see how short it is there. Some other competitors have fruits or frunks, but I'd say now they've maximized the space in the ID.4 with this MEB platform. You've got that touch paneling underneath there as well, and in we go. On the door you've got some different types of plastics, some hard, some soft. You've got leather effect, gloss black. Some people aren't happy with this button where you to operate the rear windows, you have to press rear. You've got your heated and retractable. You've got your button there for the power tailgate or powered boot. Great space in the door. The Max has the Ergo active massage seats and 2 presets, lumbar support, etc. You've got your ID branding on this brown and the grey. Some people like it, some people don't. You've got the play pause pedals on it as well, which are part of the first. Start stop is just there on the steering wheel, and you've got the headlight controls. I didn't use the start stop button all week because it has keyless start and keyless entry. You've got that really nice side steering wheel. You've got the haptic touch buttons on the steering wheel, so what you will get is a kind of a powered button. It kind of feels like you get some feedback on it, and there'll also be an audio thunk that you'll when you're pressing it. And it has the first on the steering wheel as well. Behind that then you've got your driver binnacle or driver instrument, and on the right then you've got your gear selector. So you've got forward is your D, and then you can go again for a second stage regen, braking, and then back then is reverse. Go straight into reverse, but you can select neutral if you just go kind of a half turn. At the very end then of the stalk you have your P for park, so it's your handbrake. The actual binnacle itself is on the left hand side. There's 3 panes within that. You can change the view of it, so you can see the cruise control bigger, make it 2 panes. And then you've got your speedo and speed recognition, your speed and speed sign recognition, and then if you've got your battery range is underneath that, but it doesn't give you a percentage. And then on the right hand side you have the sat nav in that section then as well. This has reach and rake, and the binnacle or instrument cluster is attached to the steering column, so that stays in the exact same position. This has the largest infotainment system, the touchscreen. It hasn't got Android Auto or Apple CarPlay connected to it yet, but that will be in a software update. Sat nav here, and you can click on it and it'll make it full screen. And we're going to pick somewhere nearby that you can see the augmented reality heads-up display and how the arrows actually appear. There's a heads-up display there in the dash, so it reflects on the interior of the windscreen. You've got your radio, or you've got your phone. You've got your vehicle settings and status. So that'll say charging locations, the vehicle itself, any data. So 52% battery left. And then that's the range there. So if you multiply that by 2, you get nearly over 400 kilometers range. Going back then, if you press that home button again, you're going to get all the different settings: telephone, radio, setting, nav, vehicle, app connect, sound, background, all of it's in there. And then along the bottom, driver assist button here. There are parking cameras, 360 on this model, front and rear cameras. And then climate control is here. It has smart control or smart climate, so it's like defog, warm my feet, warm my hands. You can use the voice control for that. And then classic climate, and then you've got air care, which kind of purifies the air. Going back then, we have driver assist, so there's lots of stuff here. So depending on which bit you press will tell you which is. So this is driver alert system. This is adaptive cruise control, or ACC. This is the front assist emergency braking, side assist, lane assist, speed sign recognition, dynamic road sign display is what they call it. Really, really good, all the assists. And then you've got your different modes. You've got eco, sport, comfort, and individual. As mentioned, I've done a full review on first impressions on the ID.4, and I've also done a review on the tech that's in it. So I'll link those videos, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Just want to give you that point of view. There's a panoramic roof, It's one of the things I like the most about any car. And you can just swipe and it brings the blind all the way up. It takes a while to catch up, but it's great. Half glove box, as you do, because the fuse box on that side when it's a right hand drive model. But if you're on the left hand side models, then you'll have a full glove box. And then underneath that thing, you've got your card holders, you've got your cup holders, you've got a covered up wireless charging pad, and you've got 2 USB Type-C, so you need to make sure you've got the right connectors or cables. And then you also have armrests on these chairs as well. We'll jump into the back now in a second as well. ISOFIX on that front passenger seat there as well. You just press P, take your foot off the brake, it knows you're leaving, and then the handle is electronically operated as well. So let's pop into the back. So I'm 6'2", 187 centimeters. That's set for me, and plenty space between chair and my knees. You've got the nice little pockets here for your tablets or your phones, small tablets. You've got another two USB Type-Cs and climate control in the central armrest section. Depending on the model, will detect whether you have that or not. Seats are a small bit straight, and they're higher in the back because you have the battery pack in underneath. And height-wise, anybody above my height now would probably start to fit their head underneath it. 3 headrests there, and you also have a good high armrest with 2 drinks holders. You will fit 3 adults in the back of this, and then you've got that hatch we talked about when we looked in the boot or the trunk. And you've got ISOFIX as well in the back 2 seats as well. Easy access to it. Good door bins. Now the question is the kit lock on? And it's not, so we're not locked in the back. Very good. Let's take it out for a spin. If you think this car is for you, you can contact EasyGo and register for the app by clicking the link on the screen or in the description. Let me know, hopefully you're enjoying the review, let me know in the comments what you think of this point of view style. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so and give me a like. If you've already subscribed, if you don't want to leave a comment, just give me a little like, I'd appreciate it. What I'm hoping is that you start picking up on the camera is, and I'll zoom in here, that you can see those blue augmented reality arrows in front of us that tell you which lane to be in. And that's going to be assisted by the ID light, which goes across the bottom of the windscreen. You'll see that as we go along the journey. And you'll also see it up on the driver binnacle and up the head-up display. So there's 5 different ways that the ID.4 on this model will direct you. So lots of, as long as you've got the right address, you won't get lost. And so you can see those arrows getting bigger and they go translucent and you drive through them. It is a bright day, so hopefully you can pick it up there on those pop-up screens I put in on the top right hand corner. So what you have is, you can see it's a really good clear heads-up display. It has the speed sign recognition as your current sign, and then also direction. And we're going to go left here up the N11 here just in South County Dublin. Nice steering wheel, weight, good driving position, good visibility. Wing mirrors are big actually, and it's interesting when they have got so with aerodynamics, like they've taken the handles away, but massive rear mirror. I don't know why I didn't go for cameras. So you can see we've got lane assist here on, and you can see that it showed that we went out of the lane, and now once we go back in, it gives you those 2 green lines to say that you're within the lane. Bring the speed back down to 80, and I've no foot on the pedals now. It's driving itself now, not even holding the steering wheel. You really should have your hand on the steering wheel, but it will start beeping and start vibrating to say that you should be driving here, but no problem there. Holding 80 kilometers, following the lanes, no problem. Really, really good. It's not exactly Tesla now, don't get me wrong, but what's going to happen is, because it's adaptive cruise control, if there's a car in front of us, and it is a Sunday morning here, I'm recording, so there isn't too much traffic on the road on the N11. Not too many people see it like this if they're commuting in and out of Dublin. But you will start to see this car in front of us, the car, if we catch up to this car in front of us, the adaptive cruise control, the radar will pick up on it. Really quiet in here, good ride, even though it's got a large 77 kilowatt hour battery. Really good, smooth. I don't know how they've done with the acoustics. It's amazing. It's got the 21-inch wheels as well. So you'll start to see now with this car, it'll start to be picked up with the cruise control. Now you can see that the speed went down there on a side road. It picked up that there was a 60-kilometer speed sign, and it braked itself. You can see the green line here now. So it's after picking up this car, even though I've set the speed on my vehicle to 80, because this car in front of us is going slower and we're using adaptive cruise control, it's going to start slowing down. And even when it starts to brake a bit too hard, the ID light and the augmented head-up display is telling us that we're a bit too close there. Really good. Now I'm not pressing the accelerator here, and it's pulling away and it's starting to speed up, so my car is starting to follow it and speed up as well. So it's following it kilometre for kilometre. And the fact that I have lane keep assist, if I started to veer over, it's going to turn the steering wheel to keep me in lane and also behind this car. Really good system. We're going to up to the next junction now. We're going to be turning right, so hopefully you can start to see the arrows, the augmented heads-up display arrows, and you'll also start to see the swipes of the ID light. So there's the arrows now in front of us. You can see them on the pop-up screen as well, on the top right-hand corner of this footage, and the ID light then will start swiping over at the bottom of the screen there. You'll see that. So you can see the arrows nice and clear there. It's caught up great on the GoPro, and then when you drive through, they disappear. And then we're away. So let's drive in the ID.4 point of view. Something different. Hopefully you can see what I can see. Really, I've talked about the heads-up display in the past, and I'm glad that I was able to catch it. I really like the heads-up display, as mentioned. Would I pay for it? You'd really want to be going a lot of places that you don't know where you're going. If it's the same route all day, every day, you wouldn't be getting the benefit. That panoramic sunroof, I think, is much more beneficial just for that light in the cabin. This is a big car. The Skoda Enyaq, its sibling or cousin, it's going to be a bigger car dimensionally, but you've got a lot of competition in this marketplace. You've got the Ariya, you've got the Mach-E, you've got the Kia EV6, you've got the Ioniq 5. And I've just done a piece with, actually before I talk about that, we've got the destination that I put into the sat-nav, and you can see the destination flag there on the augmented reality. Over the weekend there recently, I did a piece with Mark with Nobby on Cars in Ireland. He's an Irish YouTuber, one of the top in Ireland, and he was driving the MG ZS EV, and we just did a kind of a piece on family electric vehicles. It's not head for head, they're different, they're not like for like, but it was nice to look at both of them with Mark and do a collaboration. It's interesting, the MG ZS EV has a larger legroom in the front than the Volkswagen ID.4, but also has a torquier engine. So the Volkswagen ID.4 doesn't have it all its own way, so it was interesting just to see the different comparisons between the two. Hopefully you're enjoying the review. If you can leave a comment, I'd really appreciate it, or share or like. And remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thanks for watching. Just a reminder that today's video was sponsored by EasyGo, who are now offering a year's free driving when EasyGo installs a charger at your home or business. For more info or to submit for a quote, click the link on the screen or in the description.